Hello there! Myself, along with a friend of mine and his family, attended a nearby comic and toy show. We had fun, and yes, I bought some stuff. Welcome to Unboxing the Boxes, my Star Wars collection. This is episode 137, my treasure finds from the QuadCon Comic and Toy Show. I live in rural Minnesota, so my chances of attending some sort of con show are pretty limited, unless I want to spend a lot of time on the road to get there. Last weekend, April 15th and 16th, the QuadCon Comic and Toy Show came to Crossroads Shopping Center in St. Cloud, which happens to be the nearest big city, happens to be the biggest city in central Minnesota. I went to the show Saturday morning just to see if I could find some Star Wars stuff and see what was all up there. So did I find anything? You might say that I did, yeah. This is going to be fun sharing with you. I found some Funko Pops, some action figures, some comic books, some Hot Wheels Starships, yeah, a nice 10-pack of those, and a carrying case that came with some Star Wars action figures that I thought was a really great buy. I think you're going to enjoy that. Now, before I show you all this stuff, and there's more off camera yet, before I show you this, just want to invite you to once again hit that like button, share the video with your friends, and after you're done watching this video, leave a comment. Tell me what you think of my treasures that I found. And of course, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button and help out the channel by letting them know people do appreciate this type of show. So, let me get this back over here, and let's get started, shall we? The first thing I have here, I'm just going to get the comic books out of the way. I only bought 2 of them, and to tell the truth, neither one had anything to do with Star Wars. But they did have something to do with something else that I enjoy, and that is Dungeons & Dragons. And I don't know if you've seen the new Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie. I enjoyed it. In fact, I've seen it twice. So one of the things I was looking for when I was looking for comic books are Dungeons & Dragons comic books. And I happened to find one in the Forgotten Realms series with Drizzt Do'Urden, which is one of my favorite comic book characters. Well, actually, I should say favorite comic or favorite characters from the Forgotten Realms series. So I was able to find one comic book of that. And I also, you might find this kind of strange for me, I also found a Rick and Morty Dungeons & Dragons comic book. This is Dungeons & Dragons 2 Painscape. This one happens to be a graphic novel. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I do have a couple of just the single issues of Rick and Morty's Dungeons & Dragons. Found out I did kind of like them. So I thought it might be fun to read an actual graphic novel and see how those characters take on D&D. So, D&D, done and over. Moving on. Like I said, I also found a few Funko Pops, and surprisingly, at one of the booths, I walked up to it, one of the guys there recognized me. That kind of surprised me. And yes, it was a local guy. We did know each other from previous get-togethers, but he gave me some Funko Pops that I kind of liked. The first is Chewbacca, number 513. And as you can see, this is the 2022 Galactic Convention. Now, this one I kind of figured I had already. And actually, if you look back here, yes, I do have this one. So now I have 2 of them. So that was one of the first ones. Another one I bought, I am sure that I don't have, because this is Padme Amidala, number 525. And this is an Amazon exclusive Power of the Galaxy. And as I look up on the shelf over there, which is kind of my latest figures, I don't see this one up there. So I think this is one that I can actually add to my collection and fill a hole that I had. Now, granted, I don't go out quite as much anymore to get the Funko Pops. If something grabs my attention and I think it's kind of cool, I'll still get it, but I'm not trying to get every one anymore. I'm kind of getting more picky, which is why I kind of like this one, because this is another Amazon exclusive featuring Wicked Warwick from Endor. And not only do we get this cool Funko Pop, we also have the pin that goes along with it. So kind of an extra little bonus there. So I was very happy to get these. By the way, this is number 290, which I'm not sure. I don't go back far enough to get to 290. Maybe I already have it, but I know I don't have it with the pin, so that makes it a little more special. Now, I got these on my first round because Crossroads Shopping Mall kind of makes a circle. So I got these on the first round around the circle, and then my friends joined me, and we made another circuit. And during that second circuit, I stopped by this booth and found one more Funko Pop, and that was for Chrysanthemum. And as you can see, this is from the 2022 Summer Convention, limited edition. And the reason this one really caught my attention is this one is flocked. So it's not just the vinyl. We actually have a texture to this one, which I thought was really cool. I don't have this one because I don't have a whole lot of, well, to tell the truth, I don't have a whole lot of the 500 numbers. I know these three are probably new to my collection, and this one, like I said, is a double for that. But I thought, hey, this is a nice addition to my Funko Pops, especially since three of them are limited editions, exclusives. So, kind of cool there. Want to thank you for selling those to me. And at a pretty reasonable price, too. I was very happy about that. So let me get these off to the side and go on to the next thing. Like I said, I also found some action figures. If you remember, oh gosh, this has got to be a while back already. I did a video on the comic book 2-packs, or the comic packs, I think they call them. I had picked up a bunch at a third-party selling place in Alexandria and increased my collection fairly nicely. Well, when I was at the QuadCon comic and toy store, I came across a booth that actually had 2 more comic packs that I could add to my collection. And I thought they were fairly reasonable price. Yeah, they were a little expensive, but really, when you think about it, today's vintage figures, the 3 3/4 inch, you're paying nearly $15 each for those. And this has got 2 action figures in it. So you figure, okay, there's 30 bucks or nearly 30 bucks. A comic book nowadays is $4.99, and granted, these comic books were a lot less expensive, but still, it's a comic book that's new to me. So if I kind of look at it this way, 35 bucks to get 2 action figures and a comic book. Well, one of these I got for 30 bucks, for 40 bucks, and the other one I got for 50 bucks. So, 2 nice ones to add to the collections. The first one here features a character known as Dark Woman, right here, Dark Woman. And I know I'm going to butcher this name of the other character here, Asharad Het. And of course, the comic book they are from is Star Wars, The Hunt for Aurra Sing. The characters, as you can see, actually do look pretty good. We've got 2 green lightsabers for Asharad, and 1 kind of bluish lightsaber for Dark Woman. Now, who are these characters? Well, on the back here, it does say, the Jedi High Council sends Asharad Het, Ki Adi Mundi, and Adi Gallia to capture the bounty hunter Aurra Sing, who has killed 2 Jedi on Coruscant and is the murderer of Het's father. The Dark Woman, Sing's former teacher, also asked to join the hunt but is denied. Events and the Force lead them all to a remote jungle world where Het confronts Sing in a lightsaber duel, and the Dark Woman seeks atonement for her failure to help Sing. That comic book, I have a feeling, would be a lot of fun to read. Sounds like a very good storyline there. The second one here features Vilmar Grerk and Quillen Vos. So that's the main reason I wanted this one, was because it had Quillen Vos on it. Because as we know, Quillen Vos is actually starting to get a little more notice in some of the Star Wars TV shows on Disney+. We've got 2 great characters here. One has a lightsaber, of course, and one has a pistol. I like the characters. They are really good-looking characters. And on the back, it says, Quillen Voss awakens with no memory of who or where he is, and immediately finds himself in peril, in the midst of a fierce blaze and attacked by bounty hunters. He is saved by Vilmarth Grach, who helps him escape and explains that bets are being placed on Quillen's chances of survival. Villy reveals that he has a personal stake in the outcome, but changes his outlook when he sees Quillen's Jedi skills in action. So, overall, I think these are two great additions for my comic pack collection. What do you think of them? What do you think of the figures that came with these? Leave a comment. Let me know. Let's move on to the next ones. There was also some Saga collection figures that he had there. He was only asking $10 a piece for them. Well, the first one I saw was IG-88. And we all know how the IG droids, or especially IG-11, is integral to the Mandalorian TV series. So when I saw IG-88, I could not quite remember if I had this version of him or not. So I thought, $10, I'm going to take a chance. Yes, I am going to get IG-88. After all, he does look pretty cool. But there were two other ones of this series that were also there. And I think I have these, but for $10, I couldn't pass them up. The first one is Luke Skywalker. And this happens to be Luke Skywalker in his Bespin fatigues. As you can see, he does come with a blue lightsaber and a pistol. So not a bad figure there. The third one I was able to pick up for only $10 is Princess Leia from Return of the Jedi, wearing her Endor clothes. So as you can see there again, we've got a real cloth cloak that she's wearing. Looks like the helmet might be removable. Can't quite tell for sure. And she comes with a pistol. 3 nice figures to add to my Saga collection. Plus a bonus, they all came cased. As far as I'm concerned, these things are about $2 a piece. $1.50, something like that. So that even knocks the cost of the action figures down more. What do you think of those? Now let me move these off to the side, because the next two things I'm going to show you are my pride and joy of the sales that I found. This is the small stuff. Remember how in recent videos we talked about Hasbro and their packaging? Taking the windows out the Black Series and you just get a box with a computer graphic on it to show you what the picture is. Well, it sounds like Hasbro has heard us. They probably didn't hear me, but they've heard enough people and sold a lot fewer action figures, I have a feeling. They're going to bring the windows back later this year, which now has a mixed feeling for me because I've been buying fewer Black Series action figures and thus saving money to do stuff like this. If they bring the windows back, am I going to go back to buying Black Series action figures again? Guess time will tell. But one thing I really wanted to show here, talk about packaging that is designed to sell. This is packaging designed to sell. Let's face it, there are only 10 Hot Wheels Starships in this big box. And kind of a pistol thing that you can actually fire them off of, or at least some of them. Which I'm sure after doing that several times, you're probably going to break the Starships. But hey, that's irrelevant. We're going to have fun with these things while we got them. But look at this thing. If you saw this on a shelf, I think it would catch your attention. Don't you think? After all, this thing, well, for first thing, it's huge. Second thing, it really shows off every one of the Starships. You can see all of them from the side, from the top. We've got window wrapped around the corners. This leaves nothing to your imagination. You know exactly what you are getting. Yes, it's a lot more box than we probably needed. They could have probably done this in a box maybe about a third smaller and still shown the stuff off really nicely. But wow, this is what I call marketing. And to tell the truth, when I saw this, well, I missed it the first time around. I did not see this in the booth the first time around. But I did see somebody carrying one of these. So I got to talking with them a little bit because, as you know, if you've been watching these videos, I do collect Hot Wheels, Star Wars, Starships, and die-cast cars. So I was talking to him a little bit about it, and he said that booth had one more on the bottom shelf of their booth. So I went back to that booth and took a look. Sure enough, it was still there. And if you see the little price tag up here, they were asking 40 bucks for it, which I'm not sure if that's a good price for this or not. I'm sure it is now because it's an aftermarket thing. But I thought 40 bucks wasn't too bad because, you know, if you buy the little Starships individually, they're $5-6 a piece. So let's say $5 a piece. You've got 10 of them here. That's 50 bucks. And you've got the launcher here. So $40 for this, I thought that was a pretty good deal. I couldn't pass that up. What do you think? Would you have passed this up for 40 bucks? Let me know in the comments. So this is one of my two main buys up there. Granted, I do like the comics here too, but this was one of two main buys. Now, let me just put this back here for a moment. The main thing that I found, and this was one of the earliest things I found, somebody at their table had a Star Wars carrying case in the shape of the Millennium Falcon. Now, it was used. It was not brand new. It was not cartoned anymore. But it is a nice carrying case. As you can see, plenty of details on there, and you can hear that something's in here. Well, this kind of looked familiar, and when I got back home, sure enough, I do already have this case. If you remember way back when, in the early days of my videos, a couple years ago, I did a video showing all the Millennium Falcons I had. And this is one of those that was in the video. It was a carrying case. Same as this. I still have it packaged and everything. And the limited edition action figure of Wedge Antilles is still in the cockpit here. The main reason, well, there's two main reasons I bought it. First of all, he only had a $10 price tag on here. 10 bucks for this, I couldn't pass that up. That was, I thought, a really good price, even if it is an older and you could say somewhat smaller carrying case. You can't fit all the action figures in here as you could, say, a square one because you've got to work around the shape here. But another reason that I thought $10 was a really good buy was if we open this up, he actually has action figures in here. And the action figures came with it. By the way, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these before, but you could put action figures in the bottom part and the top part. And these little rings here come off so that you can put the action figures in here and then you put the ring back on to hold them into place. Now, which action figures was included with this? Well, they weren't anything overly special. In fact, the first one I'm going to show you here, let me just take these out for a moment. The first one I'm going to show you, he apologized for putting in here, but he said, if I get the case, I've got to take it with. And of course, that figure would be Jar Jar Binks. You know what? I don't mind Jar Jar. I enjoyed him in the movie. Yes, he was comical and everything, but you know what? I realized the movies were made for 10 years old back then. That's what Lucas always said. And I knew what he was for and everything, so I didn't really mind Jar Jar as much as some people. The next one is IG-88. And I did a little checking on here, but it also has a date of, I think, you know, it's hard to tell. I can't see if it's 1980. Could be 1986 or 1996. That third figure got kind of rubbed out a little bit, so I can't quite tell what it is. We also have Yoda, and this Yoda must have been on display or something. His robe is really faded, unless that's the way it came. He doesn't stand too well either anymore. He kind of likes to lean forward. Yoda's getting old. He can't stand up straight anymore. Maybe he will. Let's try moving his arms down a little bit. If we move his arm down, then he'll stand straight. Okay, we also have Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, one thing I've noticed with Obi-Wan Kenobi here is his lightsaber's broken off. I can see a little bit of the plastic in the hilt there. So it must have broke off right at the hilt of the lightsaber thing. But still, a nice little figure of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan doesn't like to stand. We also have Princess Leia, and this one too is very yellowed and kind of faded. It's an okay figure. Swivels at the waist, we got the shoulders moving, got a little movement with the legs, but of course the plastic gown gets in the way there. So Princess Leia, and I got a feeling she's not going to stand either. Oh, there we go. Got her to stand. We also have Darth Vader with a black cape. We have a lightsaber, and it looks like the lightsaber is somewhat broken, although this time there's no little plastic piece inside. So the lightsaber there probably just got lost. So pretty much there's no accessories with these things. We also have a little metal die-cast X-Wing fighter. You can tell this one's been played with a lot because two of the firing guns pretty much are destroyed. So definitely been played with, or it basically lost a lot of battles it was in because it's not in the greatest shape anymore. But still, kind of a little figure. And this is kind of cool. There's one thing left in here, and that is one of these little miniature busts. And this happens to be from Lord of the Rings. And it looks like it's probably Aragorn from the Lord of the Rings. Just a little bust. I thought, that's actually quite a bit of stuff. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 action figures that came with it. Plus a beat-up starship, X-Wing fighter. Not bad for $10, don't you think? So yeah, these, okay, just got to figure out how to get them back in here. But yeah, that's not bad at all. If we close it back up again, there we go, the starship. That's it. That is everything I bought at the QuadCon Comic and Toy Show. What do you think of my take here? Oh, there was a lot more stuff. I literally could have spent thousands and thousands of dollars there. I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to spend. I spent enough just on this little bit. But I'm glad I've got it. Once again, I invite you to like this video, leave a comment. What are your favorite things that I collected at the Comic and Toy Show? And of course, hit that subscribe button. Basically, that's it. Until next time, may the Force be with you, and keep collecting.